Hey everybody, Adam from High Desert Hollow here. I'd like to welcome you to a multi-part series I'm putting together on tree grafting. The winter weather is finally broke in Idaho. We're still getting a little bit of snow every once in a while, but most of our snow is melted. And so now it's time for me to start collecting Scion wood for what I'm going to do with the tree grafting projects we have at High Desert Hollow. So I'm here in my good friend's backyard. He's got an apple tree that produces some amazing eating apples. Looking to replicate that. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut some Scion wood. What I'm going to do is I'll bring you up here a little bit closer, show you what I'm looking for, and kind of how we make the cuts. Now we're not pruning right now, we're just cutting the Scion wood. So that's why we won't get too in depth on the different pruning stuff, but we'll use some of the same cuts and all that. So stay with me and we'll bring you up closer. So we're right here in the middle of the tree, and we've got some of these shoots coming up out of the tree here. You can kind of see this stuff here. See if I can bring it back a little bit. What these are called are water shoots, and some of these are 2 years old water shoots, and I've got others here that are last year's water shoots. And what I'm going to want to do, this is a great wood to get just for the fact that it's brand new growth last year. It's wanting to continue its growth, so it's going to push out quick. So what I'm looking for is something about 1/4 inch in diameter, about like that right there. You can kind of see it compared to my thumb. That'll give me plenty of room to work with on my rootstock that I've got on order, and we'll just be able to go from there. So, and then you can see there's multiple of them in there. I'm going to end up taking quite a few out of the middle here, and we'll see how it looks. All right, everybody. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to end up taking some of these branches back, clear back to the tree. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to end up cutting a couple of these out of here. It looks like it's going to have what I'm after. What we end up doing, for the most part, when we do this, is I'll end up cutting more than I think we're going to need. Just because when I get back to the shop and we start working on it, you never know what's going to be left or what's going to be good or what we're going to have to redo. Alright, this one's going to run. Alright everybody, we had Gabe show up to help me out a little bit here. We got all the wood cut out of the tree, and so now what we're going to do is we'll head back to the shop where we can work on the bench, and we'll get it kind of processed up. We'll look at it, see what kind of buds we have, and kind of sort it by size, and kind of go through the rest of the process, what we do to preserve it, until we're ready to graft. So stay with me, and we'll meet you back at the shop. All right, everybody, we're back here in the shop. We've got the Scion wood cut. I'm going to bring you a little closer, show you what we're looking for, and the kind of the lengths we're cutting them at, and then we'll go through the steps and processes of preserving it until we're ready to use it. Okay, so this is kind of the Scion wood. I've cleaned it up a little bit, got the obvious stuff out of it I didn't want to use. This particular tree, hasn't been pruned in a while, at least a year or two, because I've got these fruiting spurs coming off of this. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's a fruiting spur. That's a fruiting spur. And this is all off of the smaller wood on the tree. Normally, if you're pruning your trees year to year, you'll get what we call water shoots, which is the tree, you pruned it back and the tree saying, oh crap, I need to grow. And so it's sending up these new growth shoots all over, and that's what's going to be the most ideal for Scion wood. But this tree maybe has some of the most delicious apples I've ever ate. So I just want to get some of it and try it. So we're going to make do with what we got here. Let me find a good example of what we're looking for. Okay, so right here, we've got this piece here. It's about the right diameter. You can compare it to my thumb. You're looking at about just over 1/4 inch, at 1/4 inch, somewhere in that range, between 1/4 and 1/2, which is about the same size as the rootstock I've got on order. But we do have a fruiting bud there, or a fruiting spur there. But we've got these other spurs in the middle that are just growth spurs. and that's what's going to put off a new branch. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'll take my pruners, I'm going to cut it off right there, and what this will do is it'll give me 1, 2, 3 buds where I'm going to get a branch to grow off of. I don't care about this fruiting spur, the fruiting spur. So I'm going to actually cut it off right next to that. And so what that'll give me is a little bit on either end to play with, and I can make it bigger. I can come up farther up the branch if I need to make it so to fit the rootstock. Because you want to be as close to diameter as you can. But what it'll do is it'll give me more opportunities for a branch to take off of this. And what we do, so when we graft that, that goes like that onto the rootstock, and one of these is going to put off a branch. Now, maybe even all of them will. And if that's the case, what I'll end up doing is having to pick the strongest one and cut the others back, because that's actually the new tree. Where that grows out, that'll train up and come up, and that'll actually be what we train the tree out of, and that's what's going to carry on the genetics of this apple tree and get me the same true to type apple as what grows in my buddy's backyard. So main thing we want to watch for is make sure we get at least 3 buds to go off of, and give yourself a little bit of length on either end for it to dry back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the rest of this stuff, get as much Scion wood as I possibly can out of it. Then we'll go through the next step in the process of cleaning it up, making sure we kill all any sort of bacteria or mold growth that's on it, and get it wrapped up and ready to store. Because I'm not going to use this for anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. Right now we're almost the 1st of March. It's the last week of February. With our weather here, I need to be able to put these outside after I graft them. So what we're going to end up doing is to help protect against that last frost. I'm looking at probably the middle of April before I'll end up doing anything with it. Just depends on what the weather does and what the forecast looks like. So, like I said, I'm going to go through the rest of this. We'll bring you back when I get done with that to go through the next step. Okay, so we got a couple things going here now. We got the Scion wood that we've got cut, trimmed up best I can. Some of them still got a couple little spurs on it. That's all right. We'll make do with what we got. We'll only use the best that makes it through anyways. I'd rather have too much than not enough. I've got one pan here with a Clorox and water mixture. We're going to dip the Scion wood in that. We're going to kill the bacteria and the mold and fungus that's on it. And we'll rinse it off in this one, which is just plain water. We've also got, just like, I don't know if you see my chestnut video where I get chestnut seeds ready to cold stratify. Got a Ziploc bag. I'm going to end up writing the date on it, today's date. That way I know when they went in the fridge. And some paper towels. I'm going to wrap this stuff up in moist paper towel when we're done. So I'll start by putting the date. So I got that done. Andy's apple, because that was his backyard. We're not sure what it is. It was there when he moved in. It's a really good apple tree, though. All right, so that's done. I'm just going to take some of these. This is the part where I ruined my sweatshirt, my pants, and all that other stuff when I splashed Clorox water all over me. And we're just going to let those sit in there for a second and mix them around. Take them out. We can get them in this tub of water. Get them rinsed off. Pull them off to the one side. Put some more in here. Move that around. Into here. Rinse them off. And we'll just keep doing this until we get it all completed. And then we'll go to the next step. This is a really important step here just for the fact of if we don't get them sanitized with the Clorox, what we'll do is we'll have, like I say, it takes nothing for in the fridge for this stuff to get that mold growth on it, and then you're throwing the whole batch away. Wait until next year to do it again. All right, so we've got these rinsed. Now I'm just going to pull them out and make sure I get it oriented so all the growth buds are going the same way, just so they stack better. All right, so these were sitting in the rinse water. Got them all pulled out. We got all the growth buds oriented the same direction. Going to slide this down and out of the road, slide this down a little bit down here. Okay, we're going to take our paper towel. And I might use more than one. We'll just see how it goes. This is a pretty big bundle. Just like that. And there's plenty on either end. I'm just going to real quick dip it and get it kind of damp. You can either use a spray bottle and kind of spritz it, or dip it like that and just let it kind of drip off a little bit. You don't want a whole bunch of excess moisture. Just want it so that they don't dry out in the fridge. Because if this Scion wood dries out, it's not any good. Okay, at that point, we're just going to get it in the bag. Like so. Roll it up, and into the fridge we go. All right, that's the first step in the grafting process, collecting that Scion wood, and that's kind of just a start to finish, going from cutting it out of the tree to cutting it into length, getting it cleaned up, and getting ready to store. So coming up next in the series, we'll actually go into that grafting process of putting the Scion wood onto rootstock and what we'll do with it from there. So stay tuned for further updates and continue watching the series. If you haven't found us on Facebook, we're on Facebook at High Desert Hollow. Or if you want to find the channel, you can also just go to highdeserthollow.com and it'll take you right to the channel. But in the meantime, we're just here trying to live a more self-reliant lifestyle and promote modern homesteading. Adam with High Desert Hollow, signing out.